My professor told me my project was too ambitious, so I let her grade it on national TV. I was 21 when I realized how small some people want you to stay. I studied computer engineering and was one of 3 women in a class of 40. I was quiet, but confident. The kind of student who spent nights soldering circuits for fun because seeing something work was addictive. Our final was a semester-long innovation project, anything tech-based that solved a real-world problem. I proposed a low-cost prosthetic hand powered by recycled motors and an open-source design. It wasn't perfect, but it could actually help people. When I pitched it, my professor, Dr. Klein, smiled in that way people do before insulting you politely. That's idealistic, she said. Maybe aim for something achievable, like a sensor or a simple app. Translation? Don't try to build that. Girls don't finish first in robotics. I stared at my proposal as she handed it back, red ink bleeding through margins. Unrealistic. Too ambitious. I wanted to drop the idea. Everyone else was building toy drones or motion lights, but my roommate told me, turn that unrealistic into motivation. So I did. For 3 months, I lived inside the lab. My hands blistered from rewiring motors I pulled out of old printers. I coded until my laptop burned my knees. I watched tutorials at 3 a.m. with coffee that tasted like regret. And by the final week, I had it. An ugly prototype, but functional. It could grip, release, respond. Presentation day came. I stepped up, heart hammering, and showed it off. The hand clenched, waved, picked up a pen. The class went silent. Dr. Klein's smile vanished. Well, she said slowly, this may be interesting, but I doubt it's scalable or, and before she finished, one of the university staff burst in. Is this the student from the open call competition? Apparently someone had filmed my prototype testing and submitted it to a televised innovation program. They wanted me live. Dr. Klein blinked. That's not appropriate. The project's ungraded, but the coordinator just smiled at me. The country's watching next week. I went on the show terrified, but it went viral. Not because it was perfect, but because people saw a possibility. Tech blogs wrote about it. A small startup contacted me about continuing in R&D. Months later, I ran into Dr. Klein at a robotics conference. She walked up to me, hesitant, surrounded by colleagues who recognized me first. This must be your mentor, one of them said. She smiled tightly. Yes, I guided her project. I looked right at her and said, actually, she told me it was too ambitious. Her colleagues laughed like it was harmless banter, but I saw her flinch. Poetic, really. Now I work designing affordable assistive tech full-time. Prototypes that work cost under $200. Real hands for people who need them. Every time I build one, I think about that red ink note. Too ambitious. Because it turns out, ambitious is just what people say when they want you small enough to control, but not big enough to scare them. My wall still has one quote pinned up. Printed, framed, unedited. Unrealistic, too ambitious. Dr. Klein. Sometimes the best praise comes disguised as doubt.